You know, for me, a lot of times I'll take good scent trail over distance as far as projection is concerned. You know, typically what you see people kind of craving is projection and longevity. That's the two things that people say whenever a new fragrance comes out. They want to know about those two things. The longevity, I'm always behind. Projection, I care less about. Like I mentioned, I would rather have something hang in the air with a level of potency, right? Instead of going a distance, 30 feet away from me or something. I have no desire for that. Now, there would definitely be times where you might want something like that. But what we're doing today is we're just focusing on fragrances that leave a nice trail behind you. Not necessarily a subtle trail. I mean, this is something people are really going to pick up on and perceive. But it's also not going to be completely annoying either. You know, it really lingers in the air to the point where even if you leave, it's still going to be there somewhat. It's going to leave people kind of wondering where that came from. And so typically what you're looking for is higher concentrated scents, usually. Typically lower concentrated scents have that punchier projection as far as distance. Now, not all of these are pure parfums, but a couple are. More or less, what they're all doing is behaving the same way, just leaving that trail. That's what we're looking for. And so I'll link all these down below if you want to check any of these out. We're going to get things kicked off with a newer Tom Ford. It is Noir Extreme Parfum. So this is a parfum, and it's a big improvement over the Eau de Parfum, which has never been a good performer for me, both in longevity and also just projection and even scent trail. It's just a softer scent. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that this DNA especially is really good as far as being a more intimate, closer to you type of scent. It's just kind of a little bit mysterious. It's kind of gourmand, so it has a bit of that kind of delicious, edible dessert smell to it. And I do think it is kind of good for that type of scenario. But this parfum version, it does leave a bit of a heavier trail. And it also has some leather in addition to the cardamom, tonka, vanilla, and this kulfi note, which is this kind of dessert gourmand aspect about it. And so what I like about this is the fact that it is a little bit heavier and you're paying a bit more for it, but you're getting a lot in return as well. Because think about it, if you're already spending money on a Noir Extreme, the Eau de Parfum, if you just throw in a little bit more, get you a little bit further, and you get up into the parfum, I just think it's a better product overall. And really, I mean, there's nothing that can go wrong with this stuff. I mean, not everybody might go crazy for it, but I don't really think anybody is going to dislike it either. It's a Tom Ford, and at the end of the day, they know what they're doing. So I think it's a great scent. If you want a bit of a scent trail and you want something that is a little bit more unique, because Noir Extreme, the original one, definitely a popular scent, but it still isn't on the same level of a lot of the other popular designers out there. It's not a Sauvage or a Dylan Blue or an Aqua de Jo or anything like that. Not even a Creed Aventus. And so again, this parfum for me is the way to go. It makes a lot of sense to go this direction. Now, if you want to stick with something more affordable, we're going to go from one end to the other here. Now, this next one from Ferragamo is usually around $40. It's Ferragamo Uomo Signature. I really like this stuff. They have, at this point, 4 in the line, 2 sweet ones and 2 fresher ones. And so for this video, you could either go with the original Uomo or Uomo Signature. This is my choice. At the end of the day, I probably do prefer this one, but I'm not discrediting the original either because I really like that one as well. It's got a fantastic tiramisu accord, which is just absolutely delicious. And it's also affordable and also absolutely beast mode. Now, that one actually does have more projection distance. Now, it does still leave a heavy trail, but this one is less on the distance, more on the trail. So kind of more suited for this video, but again, either one could work. And the other thing that I like about this one is the coffee and leather additions. So in the original, you've got sweet notes. I mean, that's what they list off, right? And then tonka, some ambroxan and things like that. It's undoubtedly incredibly sweet. So is this one, but the leather and the coffee give it a very much a welcomed balance, because sometimes the original can be a bit too overbearing and a bit too in your face and a bit too cloying, I guess would be the word that you would use, where sometimes it's just a bit too much and kind of can get on your nerves, especially if it's a little bit warm outside, which would not be the time to wear it. But this one is just a little bit more approachable, a little bit more balanced, and more or less probably going to be maybe even a safer choice, given that it has a bit more to it to kind of even out all of the sweetness. You know, the leather is giving it a bit of a masculine touch, where that is completely absent in the original. It's just a sweet scent all the way through. And then coffee, a little bit subtle in this case, but still there enough to present itself a little and just to kind of give it a bit of a different texture. And the fact that you can get these for, you know, such a low price online, it makes it a no-brainer. You know, usually things in this price point are not this good at performing. So definitely something that you should check out if you want to leave a nice heavy trail behind you, but you also don't want to leave a big dent in your wallet. And we're going to actually stick with that theme. This next one from Mercedes-Benz is around the same price. You know, some of these car fragrance brands are really, really good, and you might be surprised in how good some of their releases are. And this is one of them. You know, it's Mercedes-Benz Select Night. So kind of an interesting one, because the original Mercedes-Benz Select, now I'm not to be confused with Select Day, that is a thing, but that's not what I'm talking about, just the original Mercedes-Benz Select. That is a Creed Aventus clone. So there's usually a couple different ways they go about this. You know, they might start a fragrance flanker line, right? You know, or start a line, I should say, Mercedes-Benz Select, and then have that smell like something, and then start releasing flankers that are just different takes on that, right? Kind of like Eau de Parfum or Eau de Toilette and all the flankers. That's not what they did here. So the original is Creed Aventus, essentially. This smells nothing like Creed Aventus. So don't think that this is just a nighttime version of that. It's not. Completely different. A lot of vanilla, tonka, sandalwood here. On the sweeter end of things, woody, kind of creamy. Really, really nice composition. And the vanilla in here is super high quality and impressive for the price. You know, if this was going for $80, $90, $100 on discounters, it wouldn't really be something I would be all that interested in, because for that money, you could get something better for the same price, or a couple of things, you know, in a cheaper price bracket, you know, get 2 or 3 for the price of 1, right? But the fact that you can get this for such a low price, it makes it a no-brainer. The quality hangs in there as well. The reason why it's in this video, it's got that good scent trail. The longevity is pretty solid as well. There's a lot to like about this one, and so if you're trying to watch your budget and you're not wanting to spend a ton of money, I would check this one out. And the original is great too if you want kind of a Creed Aventus smell. There's a lot of good fragrances from the house or brand of Mercedes-Benz, even outside of this lineup. Club Black, Club Extreme, a couple amazing ones as well that could fit in this video too. They're good performers. Now we're going to move over to Valentino, kind of bumping that price up to around $100 or so, give or take. This one is Rockstud Noir. So kind of a here and gone release as far as it popped up. There was a little bit of chatter around it and then just radio silence. I mean, when do you hear about this one? Hardly at all. But I still really like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. It's got bergamot, sage, ambergris. I mean, that's all they give you. Fair enough. You know, it's just kind of the trend these days. 3 notes and call it good. But it's kind of the general idea of this anyway. It's a modern style aromatic focused scent, kind of in the same realm of like a Eau de Parfum or more so maybe a Ralph's Club, similar in that nature, but with their own twist. And I really like their particular twist on this one, which is going to be, in this case, a little bit of a fruity sweetness, not from an apple though. So Eau de Parfum and things of that use apple. Not so much here. It's just more of almost a slight kind of pineapple-y, fruity sweetness, but then citrus as well, an abundant amount of bergamot to give it a bit of a sour touch too. You know, so it's not going to be something that completely blows you away. It's nothing that's brand new and exciting. However, it does really work well in this video. It leaves a great scent trail. It hangs in the air for a long time and decent longevity. Okay, now let's go with Coach Open Road. Really like the bottle. Kind of took a, some inspiration out of Dior's book with that, little thing around the atomizer tube. I don't know, maybe they didn't even start that, but when I see this, I immediately think of, the Dior Homme bottles, and this has the longer style like Dior Homme Sport. It has some curves to it. It's not square and angular like Dior Homme, but nonetheless, a really nice look. And it's just the little details that count. They could have easily left that straw just, blank, and it would look okay, but this looks a lot better. It just gives it more of a premium polished look. Another little detail you might appreciate is that straw in there, the blue, is color matched to this little ring right here, and then right there as well. It's hard to see on camera, but in person you can very much perceive that, and it looks great. Nice attention to detail on this bottle. And this stuff is affordable too. I think on discounters I was seeing it for like $45 to $50, so really reasonable price. It's got lemon, Sichuan pepper, and vetiver, so it's spicy and woody and a little bit sour off the top, but it's primarily woody, soapy, clean, and fresh. So, this one is kind of really focusing in on the vetiver, which can be used in a variety of ways. In this one in particular, it's a soapier vetiver, and that Sichuan pepper you get off the opening immediately gives it some real nice punch and texture, and it separates this from a lot of other fragrances out there because that type of pepper isn't used all that often. You see black pepper and pink pepper all the time, and it's great. But Sichuan pepper, it's a very distinct kind of like smoky, spicy pepper. It's just, you can tell when it's there. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of Mercedes-Benz Infinite Spicy off the opening because of that pepper accord in here. Very similar to what's being used in that one. But other than that, the scents are different. So I really like this one. It's another everyday wear, easygoing, clean, fresh scent that just smells modern, but it does leave a nice trail. Let's move over to Ralph Lauren Polo Red Parfum. So these lines are expanding as the days go by. I mean, we're just getting new ones all the time. Parfums, eau de parfums, Ralph's Club is up to an elixir already. And now they're back down to an eau de toilette. So, I mean, they're putting in work over there at Ralph Lauren. It's got blood orange, opopanax, iris, and cedarwood. So a little bit of a heavier, more resinous, smoky, and sweet take on the original Polo Red. This is probably one of my favorites that they've made thus far. And they have a lot. I mean, there's so many that I'm going to forget, but the eau de toilette, the eau de parfum, Polo Red Remix, and then there's a couple more that I'm missing, and then there's, Polo Red Extreme, Polo Red Intense, and so on. Now, a few of those are discontinued, and I really like Polo Red Extreme. I really like Polo Red Intense. Given that they're discontinued, I'm not going to include those in what I think is the best today. As far as what you can buy right now in production, I think Polo Red Parfum would be the one to get. And I would say if you could seek this one out for a price below retail, it would be worth grabbing. When I go out and pay full retail for it and hunt it down, probably not worth it at that point. But I do really like it, and if you could fall into this one, I recommend it. It really has a nice scent trail, nice performance all around, and just something a little bit more exciting compared to some of the other Polo Reds that we have these days. We'll finish this one up with Tumi Awaken. You're just not going to see these on the street all that much. It's just not a popular brand yet, at least in comparison to all the big ones out there, Dior, YSL, Chanel, Gucci, Armani, and so on. Got bergamot, fir, clary sage. Another one that does fit into kind of the new style Invictus, Howes scent character, right? So sweet, aromatic, fresh, and bluish, ambroxanish. But I do really like it. Great quality out of this one and great performance as well. One of the things that people are going to gravitate towards a lot on these is the bottle. And it's cool, it's a gimmick for some, and not everybody cares, but the cap is awesome, right? You just twist that and then lifts off. Nice red there on the atomizer. It's metal, sounds cool, looks cool, nice fit and finish on these. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some great fragrances that leave a nice trail behind you that'll really get you noticed and help you stand out. I'll link all these down below if you want to check them out full bottle wise. If you want to grab some samples, you can head over to my website, decantcenter.com. Free shipping over $59. We have free samples in every order. We're adding to the website, to the inventory every day. So if you're not seeing much that catches your eye right now, check back every day. Come back in a week and we're going to have a lot more on there. We're slowly building it up, but we're trying to become just kind of your go-to place if you just want to be able to access some of these fragrances without spending a whole bunch of money. We've got some of the best prices around, so go give us a look and see if anything catches your eye. You want to sample something before you blind buy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.